I ain't really doing anything specific for this live. I ain't really done it before. I'm just sitting outside, tearing out shit I wrote in my notebook, I guess. But yeah. What's up? Sorry, but I don't like really doing like the, I don't know, cringy kinds of conversations and shit people do on their lives or whatever YouTube stuff people do. So uh, I ain't gonna like have the same kind of accent and tone, I guess. Or at least I hope I don't ever get that. If so, then I don't know. I might want to rip up my voice box at that point. I would ask what everyone's up to, but kind of pointless because y'all are looking at this. Probably looking at a screen or something, which is ironically been making videos and stuff, but looking at the screen is the last thing I'd want people to do. I don't really know. All the other stuff I wrote, I usually just get rid of at some point. I mean, I make a video of it, but I mean, anything I write or talk about is stuff that's not that I need documented or wrote down because I can just speak on it at pretty much about any point. Right now, like in life, my time's kind of limited with what I can do, so that's why I've been making like shorts. I don't really care for it, but I don't know how I feel about writing philosophy type stuff and then putting music to it because music has a pretty big influence. So I'm still learning whether or not I even want to continue to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, I just like talking face to face, person to person. That's like the closest you can get to actual communicating. And even then, seems like everyone's kind of introverts nowadays, and that's even kind of hard. I definitely got nothing entertaining for people, so I don't know. If anyone has a conversation starter or some shit, like I'll pretty much be on here for a few, at least till the baby wakes up, and then gotta do that. What's up, Anthony? I ain't gonna lie, I like saying the people's names on there, like they're, because I feel like all these streamers, YouTubers, and stuff, they like to make people feel important, which is good because people are important. But they're more doing it for like, you know, algorithm, money and stuff, which I don't really give a fuck about all that. So I've been trying to go against the algorithm, which, you know, obviously isn't my favor, but I don't know. Don't want to gain that YouTube accent, I guess. Oh man, Jesus is king. I mean, I guess you'd have to define what a king is to go from there. Like, I grew up going to church, like, I don't know, just Christianity and stuff, and I'm not against it. I'm not against any religion or anything, but Lord and Savior. I mean, honestly, like I know what those words mean from what people say, but I try to forget like most words, most meanings, figure out stuff on my own. But when you say Lord and Savior, like I'd have to look at the definition at that point, and then I feel like it's probably subjective. But um, let me ask you this: was in your opinion, because you know I've asked religious people, but was Jesus against organized religions? And if so, I don't know if someone can make sense of that without too many words. to blur it, then I'd be happy to hear. Hmm. I don't know. I asked my mom that the other day. She's been going to church for like, I don't know, who fucking knows, 55,000 years. I don't know. She's been married to a couple preachers and stuff. I asked her, I mean, even though she is an organized religion, she told me he was against it. And when I asked her, you could, I guess, see the facial expression of there's a bit of a contradiction there. But, I don't know. So I ain't really trying to be against anyone, or it's just more so getting people to question things themselves, like from themselves. Because like every time people try to figure out something, they're using somebody's idea to figure it out. And I guess I've just gotten to the point where I've gotten most ideas out of my head to try to figure stuff out. And it's just, I don't know, different kind of learning, I guess. I mean, that would be cool if they did respect them all, I guess. Yeah, but, and I'm sure a lot of them do. Um, I guess my issue at the end of the day is, why do things have to be separated? Like, or not only that, but to be a good person, why do people have to be part of a group or call themselves something to be good? Because I'm not part of any group or anything. I don't call myself good or this or that, but I feel like, I guess from a random perspective, when people um, like have to say like, oh, I'm a Christian, there's nothing really wrong with that. But now when somebody in a different country that, let's say they got attacked by our country, which is, I don't know, mostly Christians, they're going to probably view that word as a little more cynical. And, with that being said, like that word also, causes some negativity in that sense. So let's just say there's a family in another country got wiped out by this person, and or this group, I should say. What do you think will happen when you die? I don't know. And I kind of got to a point of being I don't know, which is, I guess if you read some of the philosophers back in the day, like, getting to the point of I don't know is kind of where you start. And then from there you learn. And honestly, I was trying to get to that point for like years and I couldn't by trying. And at one point I was there, I guess. And then that's kind of why I started doing this in a sense. But as far as like what happens when you die, like we were taught what death is. We were told what death is. And then after that, we started getting, emotions and feelings. And then those emotions and feelings got connected with the definition of death. So I think like getting rid of all of that and then trying to figure it out is the best way to go. And that's where I'm at. And like I said, I don't know, but sometimes you can also learn what things are by learning what they're not. And then, so yeah, like I don't know what happens when you die, but everyone that's come to a conclusion of what happens when you die, they seem to live their life a certain way according to that conclusion. And I think that's probably not the best way to go about it. Like, what do you think? What do you think happens when you die? I mean, I'm assuming it's probably something from the Bible that is your reasoning or what it'll be. But I mean, if it's something different, you could tell it. I mean, if it's the same heaven or hell, I kind of mostly know the bits and pieces of those stories. I mean, that's stuff I would like to elaborate at some point, but I need to, like, kind of, like, some of what I talk about, I need to structure it a little bit because I haven't really talked about this stuff for, like, months. It's just kind of internalized, and then, like, but for me, having, like, a face-to-face conversation helps me articulate my words a little better. Um, but, like, the heaven thing, I guess, I don't know. Here, I don't know. I guess I have a lot of points with that. Like, if you believe in follow the rules, the Bible says. Yeah, but how many people actually follow the rules? Yeah. Like, people try to. Like, even like my Christian mom, there's some rules that she struggles with to live by, and some of those rules I do live by, but not because of the Bible, because I have like no choice. It's like, I guess an example is I was talking to her the other day, and it's not about like judging people, and she just says, she tries not to judge people, and it's like, well, I don't have to try not to judge people. I don't have the ability to, because I know the second I judge somebody, or the second I have a negative or even positive opinion about them, it's internalized from myself. So if I look at somebody and they're doing something and I have a negative, then there's something in myself that I'm looking at as negative at the same time. Now, if I don't have anything inside of myself negative, then I can't see negative in another person. I can just see the fact of what they're doing and why they're doing it. But I mean, that's just me. I'm not saying I'm right either. But I just know if someone who's been practicing Christianity for a long time and they still can't do some of the rules, and then just by default, like, I don't know, I ain't doing it because I was told not to, doing it because it's just I don't have the ability to judge somebody in that way. Because if I do, then I know there's something fucked up about myself that I either ain't figured out or dealt with. And then belief itself is also something I really try to avoid. Just gotta spread the gospel and be a follower. I mean, it's like I don't disagree with what you're saying entirely as far as the blasphemy. Like, um, I feel like the blasphemy they say in church, like saying like, "Oh my God," or saying stuff like that. I don't think that's the real blasphemy. I think the real blasphemy is telling somebody what is true, because from what I've learned, like, actual truth can't be taught. Now you can like talk about it, and maybe someone can kind of like see it through conversation, but for me, like, there's things I've seen in life that I could tell people that would probably blow their minds, like, but I can't tell them that's true. I can't tell them that's their truth, because the second I do, then they could go the opposite direction. Like, I don't know. So I think when people are saying they know for sure there's a God or this and that, is like, I think that's blasphemy. I think telling people that they know for sure, that's blasphemy, because, like, I don't know. But that's going to sound, I guess, kind of evil, I guess, because it's like a little bit contradictory to their message. Cause, like, I don't know, I say like, "Oh my God," and I say a lot worse stuff than that, but my actions don't reflect any kind of thing according. Now, if I'm around people who that offends, I don't necessarily try to be offensive. Now, when I was younger, maybe, but so I try to, you know, talk how I need to talk. It's just like if I go to the ghetto or something, I'm like, word stuff different. I go to church, I'm a word stuff different. If I go to court, I'm a word stuff different. Not because I'm different. I guess it's partially survival, partially just being respectful around other people. I mean, it's just like I kind of, in some ways, accidentally became a vegetarian, and I don't. I mean, I live with people who only. I mean, they eat meat, and I'm around it constantly. I was cooking it for a while, and then it's like, but I don't ever tell somebody they shouldn't eat meat. I don't tell them it's bad, because I don't know that. Like, I don't even really know how I became a vegetarian. It was just like a random series of events over a couple of years. I used to pray when I was a kid, like when all the time. I mean, it says, because if you do, could you pray and ask to forgive? I mean, here's the thing, like, and I'm just going to throw out bits and pieces I know of the Bible, I guess, because, again, you can correct me. I'm not trying to say I'm a scholar in that, because I'm not. But I know, I'm pretty sure somewhere, they say that, like, God already had everything planned out. Everything's mapped out. So it's like, why am I, if he already set me up to be in a spot to be forgiving, it just don't really make much sense. That's just like a weird manipulation game. It's like when you've been around people long enough, like humans long enough, and you kind of see certain mind games they play, like that's like I don't know, it's a mind game that people play. Like set you up for failure and then expect you to say sorry, and then when you like, I mean, I've been around like people like that, and I don't know if you've been around people like that, but it's usually people you don't want to be around unless you're one of those people. And I'm not saying I don't know anything, and I ain't like speaking against prayer, but to me, like I watch, we'll just say like, I don't know, one side of my family, I watch them like pray their whole life for things, and sometimes the prayers work, sometimes they don't. You know, that's how they typically say it goes, I guess, depending on your intent or whatever. But for me, like, why not just do something? Like, it's like a lot of people want to pray for an excuse not to do something. But I mean, if that's the case, then why do people need a church? Why do people need a book? Like if God told somebody and then somebody wrote it down, God can just tell you. That way, you know, there ain't some human or some person like changing something. Yeah. But you're saying like the only way is in the Bible? Like you can't like somehow communicate? Like you can't somehow get the same message that whoever wrote it down or whatever people wrote it down? Like, yeah, I mean, see, like I don't with prayer, I don't know because I feel like with prayer, it could kind of be like a mantra in a way, and I've never really done mantras. I've heard a couple of perspectives of it. There's a lot of people who, you know, find benefit in it, but I've also heard that it can also potentially steer your mind the wrong way. Kind of like, I guess, I don't know, like hallucinogens, for example. People like to, you know, abstract things and think of something that like they learn from there, but like, and they could be right, but I mean, if it's wrong, that's going to be like very wrong. So just listening. I mean, I could kind of agree with that, you know, like in some sense, but just certain words I can't agree with, like even the word God. Like, uh, I'm gonna take, I guess, a quote from Osho, which I don't really like quoting people or using people's ideologies, but he had one that stuck with me for a while, and that was if people can accept the idea of God not having a creator, then why can't people accept life just being life without having a creator? Like it's the same concept in a sense, and then but people can't accept that. And then like not only can they not accept it, but then they go say that like the God's a he, and then the man becomes before the woman and before the kids, and like that right there. Like if they just, I mean, if they took that part out, you know, I might be able to agree with a little bit more of it. But that's just like I don't know. It's kind of, you know, people have a lot of justifications for why that's the case or why that's true. But I don't know. So how often do you go to church? How often do you read the Bible? How often do you live 100% by what the Bible says to do? it must have been God taking him away right there. I don't know. Get too close to the truth. Sometimes you gotta disappear. Sometimes your brain just glitches out, I guess. I don't know. Alright, well, this is just kind of a little bit of a test, I guess, for live. Said I ain't done it. But I'm gonna go and hop off here because I'm sure baby's about to be up soon. But cool talking to you. First, I thought your name was Chris, but apparently it's Christ Love. So I don't know. Guess good talking to you, Jesus.